Hi! So, it is the time of year to be setting your reading goals, and you would like to read 100 books next year, or as close to it as you can get, or more than 100. It's not necessarily easy, but I have 5 tips that I think can help you meet that goal this year. My first tip, and I think the most important one, is to read books that you like. It can be really discouraging to get into a book and discover that it's not really something you're enjoying, but feeling like you have to finish it because you set this goal for yourself. But this is not school. You're not getting graded. I hope nobody is making you do this. This is something you have chosen for yourself, and it should make you happy. Now, if you're choosing to read books that you think are good for you and you're not really enjoying them, I think that's okay because you still have a goal to achieve. If you're reading fiction and you're not enjoying it, dump it and start something new that you like. My second tip, which might seem obvious, but I think it could still be said, is to spend more time reading. If you're currently reading for about a half hour a day, increase that to 45 minutes a day. Take your book to work, to read on your lunch break, have an ebook to pull up on your phone wherever you might be, and you can find those little times through the day to add in some reading time to get more of your books read. My third tip is to go ahead and read some shorter, easier to read books. Now, this goes along with my first tip of read what you like. So the difference between these two books that I'm holding is a huge time it takes to read difference. When you read a book like this is going to take way longer than one like this. But if what you love to read has close to 1,000 pages, let me suggest that instead of a number of books goal, you set yourself a word count or page count goal instead. Because let's be honest, reading a book like this is going to take as long as reading 2, 3, 4, 5 smaller books. And personally, I don't think you should sacrifice what you like to read to reach a higher number. I do think it's important to try to get to a goal that you have set for yourself, but not at the cause of stress or sadness that, well, now I have to save this book for next year because I'm not going to be able to squeeze it in this year. Going solely on page count, it would be about 5 of these to equal that big book I pulled down. Small books for the win! My fourth tip comes in 2 parts. The first part is a serious suggestion that I will be doing. The second part, you will have to decide for yourself. So, my fourth tip is listen to audiobooks. Yes, this counts as reading a book for your number of books goal because you have taken in whatever is in the book, whether it's a story or knowledge or whatever. You have completed a book. Also, you can listen to audiobooks at times when you couldn't otherwise actually have a book in front of your face. For example, driving, cleaning the house, yard work, all these things where your hands are busy, but your ears and your mind are free. The second half of the tip that I am not going to do, but I know people who do, is turn your audiobook speed up. It can feel really awkward. I did it on accident once and I wondered why it sounded so strange. But if you can speed it up and still understand what they are saying and be able to take in the book, go for it. You'll get through your book faster. My fifth tip for reading your books at a high enough rate of speed to meet your number of books goal is to skim. Skim reading is when you are just kind of darting your eyes back and forth across the lines. You're not necessarily taking in every single sound, maybe even not every single word. When you are skimming, you're not sub-vocalizing, which is when you hear the words pronounced in your mind as you're reading them. Skimming will increase the rate of speed of your reading, but your comprehension and your retention could suffer. So before you decide to skim a book, think about why you have set your goal of 100 books. For me, the only time that I really skim read is during extended action sequences. You could probably tell by that big book that I held up that I do love fantasy. Sometimes fantasy books will have extended battle scenes, and I think action scenes lend better to a screen than to the written word, so sometimes I skim those. Otherwise, this tip is up to you and whether it fits your style of reading and what you want to accomplish with your reading goal. If you have other tips for reading a 100 books in 1 year goal, please put those in the comments for the benefit of anyone else watching this video. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, you can also watch my video on how to find new fantasy books that you haven't already read. I do think those tips will help for other genres besides fantasy, and maybe you can add some new books to your TBR for next year. I hope this video was helpful. Subscribe here for more bookish videos like this one, and I'll see you next time. Bye!